Meanwhile, Senator Thom Tillis' announcement earlier this week that he will not seek re-election next year shook up what was already expected to be one of the biggest races in the country. Well, the big question is who will take Tillis' place as a Republican nominee. There was already another Republican in the race who was set to challenge Tillis before he dropped out. It's U.S. Navy veteran and former Special Assistant U.S. Attorney Don Brown who joins us now. Sir, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Tim, it's an honor. I've been a fan of this show for many years. You do the state a great service. Hoping your family have a great Fourth, and congratulations on the Edward R. Murrow Award. You're doing some good work. So Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. For those that may not know who you are, tell us who you are and why the heck you want to do this.
Well, why would anybody want to do this, right? I haven't got any psychiatric referrals yet, but as you say, I'm an ex-Navy JAG officer, and this was not on my radar. I did run for Congress in the 8th last time. We jumped in very late. Really on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving with the March 3rd primary. You don't give yourself enough time. But it was a good experience. You finished in the middle of the pack. And I had a lot of my opponent's supporters coming forth and asking me to run for this. And I wasn't paying any attention. It wasn't on the radar. It was clear for a number of us more conservative Republicans that we wanted to change in the U.S. Senate seat. But I think the straw that broke the camel's back was I worked very closely with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth on some rules of engagement issues for a couple of years, from 2017 to 19, and stayed in touch with him after that. And I think when the senator, after promising to support all the president's nominees coming out of committee, Pete came out of the Armed Services Committee. Then the senator goes and gets an affidavit from his sister-in-law and tries to tube that nomination. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So here we are, and we're going to go full steam ahead, and we're looking forward to serving the people of North Carolina.
There's been a lot of talk about whether, I think the House Speaker, Destin Hall, yesterday said basically we should support whoever Trump supports, and others are calling for, a vigorous primary without Donald Trump getting in right away. What do you think?
I saw those comments by our new speaker, and, with the senator bowing out, it certainly has changed the dynamic. The one potential candidate that would be an unquestionable game changer would be the president's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, who, of course, is from Wilmington, went to NC State. And if she were to step in the race and the president would get behind her, that would be a big game changer. Beyond that, it depends, really. It just depends on who the candidate is. I've said, I don't mean this literally, but I've said that I would go to war for the president. What I mean by that, he's pardoned 2 of my clients, including one young man who was in the Capitol and another former paratrooper, Clint Lorant. So I have a great deal of loyalty to the president. We'll have to see how it's going to shake out. But if Lara Trump were to jump in, I think that would be a huge game changer. I can't think of any other name that would automatically be a big game changer. The president endorses, and sometimes his endorsements work and sometimes they don't. I respect the man, obviously. I think he's America first. His tariffs haven't caused the end of the world. His strike in Israel hasn't caused World War III. The stock market is booming. And so I respect the gentleman's judgment. I think he's a great president. We'll just have to see how it folds out within the next couple of weeks.
Do you hope to get a meeting with him and get an endorsement yourself?
Well, naturally, you would hope that if you're running for the Republican nomination for the United States Senate, that would be the ultimate, kind of like a trip to the beach. Our campaign has been in touch with the White House at some of the highest levels. We don't know what's going to happen. The interesting thing is, if you pay really close attention to what the president said, he was obviously upset with Senator Tillis over the big, beautiful bill. And we have credible evidence that he'd been upset with the senator. Even going back, the president flew into Asheville on day 2 of his presidency. And that was right after the Hegseth shenanigans when the senator tried to tube that. And I was told the president was fuming on that plane and was looking for somebody to replace, but sort of calmed down, said some gracious things about the senator. But then, of course, the big, beautiful bill thing, when the senator, I think the issue was over Medicaid to a large degree, senator was opposing it. The president comes out and says, I'm going to, pay attention to what he said. He said, I'm going to find somebody to primary Tillis. I'll be interviewing candidates and, making a recommendation or words to that effect. Well, if you think about it, Tillis is not going to be primaried anymore. So is the president still going to do that? He may. He probably will endorse somebody. He endorsed Senator Graham. He's endorsed others, and he may endorse here. But my personal feel is that with the Senator Tillis stepping out of the race, that the urgency is not there. And matter of fact, we were told by some folks in the very highest levels of the White House that they may take a look at this, week after next. But I don't think there's an urgency at this point. As the president said, his first choice would be his daughter-in-law, and I love Laura Trump also. But he also pointed out that she lives in Florida and they have a good life in Florida. And you sort of reading between the lines, I would welcome her, but I don't think it's going to happen. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. But yes, I would love that endorsement if we could get it.
Is there an argument, though, that it would be wise for him to stay out of it, at least for a while, and let this play out? Because so many of the candidates are not going to be known to a majority of North Carolinians, even members of Congress. Is there an argument to be made to let this play out?
Yes, I think there's some arguments for that. I think there's some arguments in favor, and he's President Trump. He can do what he wants to do. But if I were advising him, I'd say, hey, listen, let's see how it plays out some. Obviously, this Senate seat's important for a couple of reasons. One being that the balance of the Senate may hang upon it. We're going to have someone emerge who can tackle the Democrats, if that's Governor Cooper or somebody else. And I think sometimes you determine the strength of your candidate by how well the candidate performs in a primary, in a longer primary session. And I think it may play out longer. I really, Tim, don't think we're going to hear anything. We may have some additional communication with the White House. President may be talking to us and talking to others. I'd be surprised if he makes any endorsement anytime soon. But I do think there's some merit to that argument. So we'll have to see how it works.
We got less than a minute left here, but I do want to ask you about the topic of the day, and I don't mean the Diddy trial. What else is going on in Washington? Obviously the big, beautiful bill the House is taking up. I think I know the answer to this, but do you support the bill as it is right now?
Well, I'm not, to be honest, yes, but I'll say the caveat, I've not read everything the Senate's put in it. But I think there are important things that have got to be said. The president's tax cuts have to be preserved, number one. Border security's got to be preserved, number two. I like some of these green energy stuff thrown out of it. I think the Senate tried to stick some tax credits in for green energy. I'm not a big fan of that, but yes, I support it. And we got a rescissionary bill coming in behind it to try to enact some DOGE cuts. We got to attack the national debt. This is a step in the right direction for the reasons, border security, and to extend those tax cuts. We got to have it for the time being.
All right, sir. Thank you for your time tonight. It's good to have you on. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
You too, Tim. Have a blessed 4th, and hope you and family are doing well. We'll see you soon.
All right, same for you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We should note, by the way, the only other Democrat that's in the race, Wiley Nickel. We've had him on the show. As others come in the race, we'll put them on as well. Just time now for our first break. Just over 9 months after Helene devastated the region, Chimney Rock State Park back open. Coming up, we'll give you a preview of tonight's new episode of Front Porch Politics, where I'll talk one-on-one with Chimney Rock's mayor about the reopening and more.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.